Title: The Sinister VR Game. I've always been an avid gamer, so when I received an anonymous package containing a virtual reality VR headset with an intriguing game, I couldn't resist. There was no sender information, just a note that read, "Embrace the unknown." My curiosity got the better of me, and I eagerly donned the VR headset, unaware of the horrifying nightmare that awaited me. As the game loaded, I found myself in an eerie, abandoned mansion. The attention to detail was astonishing: creaky floorboards, flickering candles, and an unsettling silence that sent shivers down my spine. The game's objective was unclear, but it seemed like a thrilling puzzle to solve. I took my first cautious steps into the virtual world, marveling at the realism of the environment. Soon I encountered a ghostly figure in a tattered gown, a sorrowful woman who appeared lost and frightened. As I approached, she whispered a cryptic message: "Beware the shadows, they feed on fear." With that, she vanished into thin air, leaving me with an uneasy feeling. Undeterred, I continued exploring the mansion, navigating through its twisting corridors and dimly lit rooms. The atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive, and the silence weighed heavily on my nerves. I could feel eyes on me, lurking in the shadows. The game's objective became clearer as I stumbled upon scattered journal entries. They revealed a tragic tale of a family torn apart by a malevolent entity lurking within the mansion. The entity, known as the Devourer, fed on fear and despair, using the family's emotions to trap them in an eternal nightmare. The more I learned, the more determined I became to free the tormented souls trapped within the Sinister VR game. But as I delved deeper, the game seemed to come alive, taunting me with unsettling glitches and paranormal encounters. One night, as I was immersed in the VR world, I felt a cold breath on my neck despite being alone in my room. I quickly removed the VR headset, my heart racing. There was nothing there, just the eerie sensation of being watched. Nerves frayed, I returned to the VR game, wondering if the sinister entity had somehow crossed into reality. The Devourer's presence grew stronger with each passing day, manipulating the game's environment to heighten my fear. I started to question whether I was still within the confines of a virtual world, or if the Sinister VR game had transcended into my reality. As I attempted to solve the game's puzzles, the line between the virtual and real world blurred even further. Objects I had seen in the VR mansion began appearing in my room, and chilling whispers echoed through the walls. Sleep became elusive, haunted by disturbing nightmares that left me exhausted and terrified. My physical and mental state deteriorated, and I could feel the game's malevolence seeping into my reality. Desperate to escape the torment, I sought help from a tech-savvy friend. We dissected the VR game's code, hoping to find a way to sever the connection between the virtual and real world. But the code seemed impenetrable, as though the Sinister VR game had a will of its own. In a last-ditch effort, I confronted the ghostly figure in the VR mansion, the key to unraveling the Devourer's hold. With trembling hands, I asked her how to break the curse. Her hollow eyes bore into mine as she revealed, "To defeat the Devourer, you must face your deepest fear." I knew what I had to do. I returned to the game, determined to confront the malevolent entity head-on. The virtual mansion warped into a nightmarish maze, a reflection of my own fears and regrets. As I braved the Devourer's onslaught, I found myself face to face with a ghastly version of myself, a manifestation of my darkest insecurities and doubts. The Devourer had taken the form of my deepest fear, and I had to find the strength to overcome it. With a surge of determination, I faced my doppelganger, refusing to let fear control me any longer. The Devourer's malevolent presence weakened with each step I took, its power diminishing as I embraced my vulnerability. Finally, the Sinister VR game glitched and the nightmarish environment dissolved. I stood in the virtual mansion once more, victorious over the Devourer's hold. The ghostly woman appeared one last time, her sad smile conveying gratitude. As the VR game closed, I removed the headset and took a deep breath. The shadows that once haunted me had disappeared, leaving behind a sense of peace and empowerment. The anonymous package that had plunged me into a world of horror was gone, and with it the Devourer's malevolence. Though I would never know the sender's identity, I realized that sometimes confronting our deepest fears is the only way to break free from the sinister games life plays on us.